Kevin, call the roll, please.
Mr. Babcock? Mrs. Sweet?
Here.
Mr. Bear?
Here.
Mr. Whitaker?
Here.
Mr. Avery? Mr. Hannah?
Here.
And we do have a quorum tonight, so please join me in pledging allegiance to our flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This is the regular session of the Enon Village Council, Tuesday, November 22nd, 2022. Additions to our agenda this evening.
I do have a communication.
And I have a committee report.
All right, communication, Mr. Whitaker, and committee report, Mrs. Sweet. Anything else?
Do we need a committee report for the public meeting that we had?
We have minutes, and we could have a report go along with that if you want. All right, and let's go into the minutes of our regular meeting Tuesday, November 15th, 2022. If you're satisfied with the contents of those, then I would entertain a motion and a second to approve.
I'll move that we accept the minutes as presented.
I'll second.
And I read the wrong date. That's Tuesday,
yeah, the
November 8th. I'm sorry. That would have
My
been the 8th. So we have a motion by Mr. Whitaker, seconded by Mr. Bear. And any further discussion? Okay, call the roll, please.
Mrs. Sweet?
Yes.
Mr. Bear?
Yes.
Mr. Whitaker?
Yes.
Mr. Hannah?
Yes.
Now we have the meeting minutes from the special meeting with the township, which was Tuesday, November 15th. And we can do a motion in a second, and then we can get some discussion along with these if you'd like.
So moved.
I'll second.
Moved by Mr. Whitaker, seconded by Mrs. Sweet, and discussion. Mr. Hannah.
We had actually a pretty productive meeting with the township and the village. In order to kind of get all our minds together and see what direction we want to try to take the project in itself. We did hear from some of the public for the first time a little bit, and from girls softball, I think it was.
Yes.
And based on their attendance and recommendations, we tweaked the park project a little bit. So it was a productive meeting, and if I can kind of piggyback with the township without going too far, Mr. Whitaker and myself attended the trustees meeting last night. A lot of the same topics that we talked about in the special meeting were discussed again last night. We did have a new person that showed up. He's the Green and baseball coach.
He is, and he's
And
the
also
president
Little
of
League
Enon Little League.
Yeah, in Little League. Very interested in the baseball fields and the need for more baseball fields than what we originally planned. And as of today, I got a hold of Mr. Noah Smith, who's with the engineering group, and have asked them to modify the plans based off of the public input and council and the trustees' input. So with that, we will be moving the retention ponds over closer to the well fields project themselves, within 50 foot of the center of them. We'll be adding at least 2 small baseball fields, T-ball type, which around 200 foot, I think is where we were looking at on they asked me today. We'll expand the dog park a little bit. We'll change some of the parking. The big thing off of that is the area where you see the supply building or the concession stand or restrooms. We're removing that from the center of the baseball diamonds and moving that out to the parking lot, between the parking lot and the ball fields. The new outbuilding will be, projected outbuilding will be there. So all in all, the wheels are starting to roll a little faster. The township cut in the the road off of the cul-de-sac down there. So we've got a, as the mayor said a little bit earlier, road to nowhere. But it's
Not
it's
for
a
long,
nice
though.
road. Yes, nice road. We finally got that cut in. There may be some other projects that go on that this fall before winter comes in, if we can swing that in order to try to get a head start on some of the things we may have to do next year. So, again, we appreciate the effort from the township. That was a lot of work and a lot of gravel they put in, and that was greatly appreciated. For that.
Thank you. Good report.
One other thing we did discuss last night, kind of talking with Bobby and Todd, was if we felt there was a need to kind of set up a timeline of when we probably need to meet. And we had discussed maybe quarterly for the time being, have a special meeting like we did a couple weeks ago. They kind of agreed with that, and I don't know if it needs to be more than that now. It probably makes sense, but as we get further down the line, there may be a need to have that more frequently where we're all together, so.
I agree, and Rick and I were talking beforehand. I think quarterly would be appropriate right now, and if that had to change later on as things really get going, then so be it.
All right. That's all I had.
Thank you. Any other discussion or comments on this meeting? Okay, call the roll to approve those minutes.
Mrs. Sweet,
Yes.
Mr. Bear,
Yes.
Mr. Whitaker,
Yes.
Mr. Hannah.
Yes, and I would like to say I appreciate all the council showing up for that meeting. It was nice to have the entire council here to represent the village.
That was really good input. Even though we didn't have a lot of people in the audience, I think we got valuable input from what we heard, and it was good for all of us to be able to discuss some of these
I
issues.
thought it was standing room only. Weren't all the seats filled?
We
As
were
far
at
as
the
I
wrong
recall
meeting
it.
then. We didn't attend the same meeting, Rick. All right, let's look at the financial report, and we will have the reconciliation at the meeting in December. So this is just kind of an FYI. Cash summary by fund, general fund, we've got $126,159. Street construction, $55,491. Our ARPA funds, $135,222. Police levy, $284,226. Water operating, $183,378. Contingency fund, $109,822. Total of all funds, $807,449.94. Looking at the revenue side next, on that particular report, we are about 93% received for the general fund. We may get close to 100%, but again, that is because of the way the auditor entered their estimates for our receipts, which are going to be low, but we're in still pretty good shape there. If you turn to page 2, looking at the street fund, we're about 82% received. And keep in mind, depending on when like the street comes in and the water, typically at the end of the month, we're right where we should be. So we're in good shape street-wise. Looking at the police levy on page 3, 94%. And again, that's not going to change much between now and end of the year. Water operating, 84%. And you'll have the months of November and December, so that will come out right where it should be. And total of all funds, 88%. Looking at the appropriation status report, if you go to page 2, the end of that page, year-to-date expenses as compared to appropriations, we're about 93%. So we will be fine there. Most of those expenditures for the general fund have ceased for the year, so we have one more month basically left. Looking at the street fund, 87%. And Kevin, do you have anything else going on in the street fund? Have we paid everything or submitted everything for payment?
I think so.
Okay.
I can't think of anything that I've got out.
Okay, good deal. If you go to page 4, police levy, we're about 85% spent of what was appropriated, so we're in good shape there. And on page 6, we have our water fund. And again, we're about 85%, so we're in good shape there. Total of all funds, 82% for this time of the year. That's really pretty good shape. Any questions or comments on financial? Okay, no presentations. I had one item of communication. If it's the wishes of council, and I suspect it will be, that we cancel the second meeting in December, which falls on December 27th. We could go ahead and get that posted publicly. That first meeting in December falls rather nicely, in my opinion, because it's on the 13th, puts us right in the middle of the month, and I think that would suffice for any last-minute business that we would have to take care of.
I'll go ahead and make a motion to cancel the meeting on December 27th.
I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Whitaker and seconded by Mr. Bear. Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Sweet,
Yes.
Mr. Bear,
Yes.
Mr. Whitaker,
Yes.
Mr. Hannah.
Yes.
Okay, that motion does pass, and Kevin, if you would get that posted for us, we'd appreciate it.
Sure will.
And let's see, Jeremy, I'll turn it over to you for communication.
I just got a quick communication. There's a gentleman that graduated from Greenon in 2001, Joe Hall. He set out on a journey about 6 months ago. It's called Haul Across the Country, where he walked from Delaware to California to raise awareness for the growing mental health crisis in our country. It totaled 3,176 miles. Like I said, a little bit over 6 months it took him, and he completed that today. It's his 40th birthday, so just wanted to send out a
Wow,
congratulations. to him.
congratulations. That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And how many months did it
Took
take?
him a little bit over 6 months.
6 months?
Yep.
Wow. Awesome. Yeah, congratulations. Thank you for bringing that up. Let's go into staff reports. Kevin, I'll turn it over to you.
All right, thank you, Mayor, Council, residents. I think we need to back up a little bit here. We need to excuse the absence of,
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Yes.
if we
So
can do
moved.
that first.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Hannah, seconded by Mrs. Sweet. Call the roll, please. Sorry, Brenda.
Ms. Sweet?
Taken. Yes.
Mr. Bear,
Yes.
Mr. Whitaker,
Yes.
Mr. Hannah.
Yes.
All right, thank you very much.
Thanks for reminding us on that.
The first item there, I give you a packet for the farming, for the farm property, for the additional park property, I should say. We need to pass an ordinance tonight, emergency, so I can get that legal ad in the paper for Sunday. We'll get that ad called in or emailed tomorrow. They just need a couple days' notice, and it will be advertised Sunday, November 27th. It has to be advertised for 2 weeks, so Sunday, November 27th, Thursday, December 1st, Sunday, December 4th, and then Thursday, December 8th. That's when the ad will run. And the bids will be turned in on December the 12th by 1 p.m., where we will open up the bids at that time to award the bid or read the bids aloud. And then council on the 13th can review the bids along. I'll give the township also opportunity to do that as well. And then hopefully award the bid on December 13th. So I know there's been quite a few people calling about it, and so.
So typically, I don't believe an ordinance is required to actually go through the bidding process to actually make the selection. To pick the right one would be, and correct me if I'm wrong, but we don't have 5 members to.
Oh, that's right. for
Yeah.
emergency.
So what I would suggest is put this in the form of a motion and just by
Okay.
the title of the ordinance, and then when the best bidder is received, then approve it via ordinance. I think we're okay that way.
This is authorizing me to advertise. So, I mean, you can do that in a motion, I'm assuming, just to have me advertise it.
And we've done that previously. So does any council have any problem with that? Because to suspend the 3 reading rule, we need 5 votes. Okay.
So we just need a motion to, okay, so I'll move to allow the village administrator of the Village of Enon to advertise for sealed bids for the farming of 54 acres and, well, that's it. I guess I don't
Short
need the
and
rest
sweet.
of it.
I'll second.
Moved by Mr. Whitaker, seconded by Mr. Bear. Or does anybody have any other discussion? Are there any other comments, questions? Okay, call the roll.
Mrs. Sweet,
Yes.
Mr. Bear,
Yes.
Mr. Whitaker,
Yes.
Mr. Hannah.
Yes.
All right, thank you. I will get that advertised for Sunday's paper and begin that process. So
So are the trustees coming to our meeting the 13th?
I'm gonna have to call them and see how they
Yeah,
want
Or
to
the
handle that.
bids are coming in and?
I think that would be a good idea, and then that way we could simplify it, and all of us be on the same page as far as to vote to accept the
Right.
bids as they were, rather than trying to do it in separate venues.
However they want to do it. I just know that I'm going to invite them for the bid opening, you know, whoever wants to, from the trustees, whoever wants to show up on the 12th, so.
Oh, okay, so, yeah.
On the
so
bid
if We're
opening,
gonna go
not-
ahead and do the bid opening on
On the 12th,
Monday.
right, and then bring it to council on
Right.
Tuesday
Okay,
to award to
okay,
whoever, but I'll see if the township wants to come as well on Tuesday or
Yep.
have some representation there.
Well, let me ask you a question. Do they have a meeting on the 12th? Does anybody know? Is that their meeting night?
No.
No? Okay.
It'll be the 5th.
be the,
Okay.
yeah, the 5th,
So we'll make it happen where
right.
It'll work.
somebody's present there, so.
Should we be here for that meeting on the 12th? I mean, is that,
It's open to the public, whoever wants to come, so,
all right,
on the 12th at 1 o'clock. That's when we're
1
gonna,
o'clock?
yep. As we've done in the past, around this time of year, Thanksgiving, we've closed on Thanksgiving and the Friday after, so the employees can do some Black Friday shopping, things like that. So this, the office will be closed this Thursday and Friday. I know Laura, I'm gonna meet with Laura, so I wanted to make sure if anybody had anything for Laura, that I get it, so I can get it to her. So I don't know if you've got all your stuff turned in her box or anything, so, but if you have anything else, just let me know and I'll get it from you.
Is
so.
she coming here on Friday?
No.
She's not? Okay.
No, yeah, I will meet her probably halfway.
Okay, all right.
Commissioner meeting. They're holding a public hearing at the Springview Government Center tomorrow at 10 a.m. I will be attending that, and that's for the solar farm discussion that they sent a letter out here that I brought to council. But I will be going to that tomorrow at 10 o'clock to, from what I understand, it does not affect the village per se. These solar farms require so much land that they don't normally build these within an incorporated area. But I just want to go and just get some more information, get kind of a little bit of knowledge on how all that stuff works.
I think it's a
So-
good idea we have a presence. Thank you for going.
So that will be tomorrow at 10 o'clock, and I'll hopefully bring an update back next time. Item number 5, medical insurance. We have our renewal that came in. Not as bad as it could have been, I guess, as we've been told with some other entities around the area. We had a 7.9 increase from last year. Last year's monthly premium was $7,006.95. Our renewal is going to be $7,630.02. The only change is same coverage. The only change it's going to be is the emergency room copay is going to go up $50. So it'll be $500 copay for the emergency room. I think one year it was $500. Last year it was $450. Now it's back up to $500. That's the only change. We did have a few employees kind of drop off some dependents, which saved us, I think it was $800 if I'm not, took the premium down or something, $800 if I'm remembering our discussion right. But then the additional premium or the new renewal premium went up. So that's what caused that 7.9% increase. So
Just a little bit more on that. I don't want to beat this to death, but we, from 2021 to 2022, we saw a decrease of 6.5% in our premiums, and we were saving $800 a month during the year 2022, and our premiums were running about $12,000 and some change. During the year 2022, we had several employees that did drop their plans down from a family plan status down to either a single or a employee plus one, and that took us at the end of this year to that, what is it, 7,000 and some change?
yeah,
So we have dropped tremendously from a premium standpoint in what we were paying for the medical insurance for employees. So it'll go from approximately that $7,000 to $7,600, but still several thousands of dollars a month lower than what it was at the beginning of this year. So
do we need any motion to, I think that just kind of renewals and
if it's a consensus of the council, instead of changing plans, I think we're doing really well with this plan.
I think so. I did check with Elijah, the Eagle Scout that came to council here not too long ago on the library, take a book, leave a book type thing. We did meet a couple times out to the park to discuss areas. He's actually going to put one in each park. And so those are hopefully going to be done this Sunday. He turns 18 on, I thought he said today, Monday or something. He has to have it done by Sunday.
Wow.
So
Okay.
So his mom was out there, but they're going to have it, the posts at least in the ground. He wanted to get them in the ground before it got too cold, but he's hoping that he's got some Cub Scouts that's going to help him to finish painting. I mean, nothing major, but he's hoping that, with everybody helping, he'll have them all installed by Sunday. If not, you'll just see posts sticking out. Then he'll come back and finish them. But it's going to be pretty neat. He's pretty excited about it. His mom's pretty excited about it. So it's going to be another nice addition to the parks.
I'm sure he's got plenty of motivation from his parents at this point, so good for him.
So, other than that, I think Brenda's going to say something about the employee manual there, but I think that's all I have for now.
Thanks, Kevin. Questions for our administrator? Okay, good report. Chief, I'll turn it over to you. Good evening.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, residents. This year, Shop with a Cop, I'm working with Lindsay Weaver again at the school. I haven't brought this up. Our fund has enough to do, the fund that we use for this has enough to cover the $2,000 that we would use for $100 for each child. We go up to Walmart as usual, the 20 students. If council would be okay with that, I'd like to use $2,000 out of that fund. I'm sorry, I don't have that. I can look it up, but there's about $7,000 in it roughly. And then we would do that. Looks like we're going to try to do it December 10th. It's a Saturday at 9 in the morning. We'll just have them meet us up there like we did last year. Seemed to go a little better with the staffing that we have. So I talked to her about that. So I just need to get the council's okay with that. I'd like to do that this year, if not.
I'm good with it, for sure.
So do we actually have to have that money appropriated? Is that what you're saying, Mike, from that? Let's see.
I just,
Let's see.
I don't, honestly, I don't know that he even asked the last time. I
Okay, that's
just
fine.
wanted to ask to make sure we're
And you
okay
know
on it.
what? We'll let Laura take care of that on her end, but
Yeah, and I'd
Yeah.
asked her about that fund. She said, because I don't know if we can have a Shop with a Cop fund, but I know it's police, special, and others. But she said there was a brick that came out of that fund not too long ago for a few $100. So I don't know if we can get it. I don't know how that works. I've talked to her about getting a separate fund, but there is definitely money in that. I wanted to try to raise it a little higher. I was talking to Miss Weaver last year. I thought we'd increase it, but with the numbers on that fund, I just thought maybe we just better leave it right now where it's at before
Okay.
we do that. So as long as everybody's okay with that, I'll get that started, and I know it's really nice. It's neat to see the kids do that, and it's fun for the officers. And
It's a tradition with the Enon Police Department,
well, and it's Christmas, right? So I mean,
and it's
gift
Christmas.
giving, yeah.
Yep.
It
What
puts-
year is this in, do you remember?
Oh wow. No,
Ben Barrett
Officer
started it.
Barrett
Officer
started
Barrett
that.
started
Yeah,
it,
Ben
yeah.
Barrett started that back in 2000 and good Lord, 10 or 11 or
10 or
something.
11, yeah.
So I think last
Okay.
year was our, well, last year might have been our 10th anniversary or however you say it, but yeah. Other than that, I don't really have anything else. It's cold outside, and that's it.
Short and sweet. Questions for our
Short
chief
and
this
sweet.
evening? All right, thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Appreciate the report.
Yep.
Committee reports, Mrs. Sweet.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
You're welcome.
The Public Service Committee met November 21st to discuss the employee handbook, review it and go over it, and we did that exactly thing. So we found a few things that we did change with the suggestion of Jason and Kevin. Employees get compensated by being paid for a minimum of 2 hours when they're on a non-exempt weekend work. And they're scheduled to have, they must have a 30-minute response time when they are on call and carry and answer the village emergency phone the weekends that they are on call for that. Excuse me. And the second thing changed was the eligibility for vacation leave had been set at 600 hours and has been changed to 200 hours. And we are allowed to cash in 50% of those hours not used at the end of the year. I can have my committee if there's anything else they wanted to add to the report.
I have a question on the insurance thing, or the
No.
vacation.
Vacation.
You say eligibility for vacation set at 600? Or just mean, is that, so they're eligible for vacation, right, when they're hired, right?
That was it credit hours or vacation? The number used to be they could have up to 600 hours.
Remember that, Mike, that
And
the
now-
meeting we had?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
changed
Well,
to
down here at mine, it
480.
says 480. That's why I was questioned that.
Well, it used to be 600. Now it's 400.
So it would cap at 200? Then you couldn't have more than 200? I think I do remember this conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But we were, okay,
Okay.
Of
total.
the 480 and the 600 was comp time.
Oh, okay, so 480
480 's
hours
comp
was
time.
the cap for,
It
all
used to
480
be-
was capped for comp?
Yes.
600 for vacation?
No,
Was.
there used to be a cap of 600 for
Vacation.
comp time.
Oh, comp time, gotcha.
That has changed to
No,
480.
no.
That was the other way around.
Cap for, that was for vacation.
Vacation was
The
600. we
480
changed it.
and the 240 was comp time per the revised code that we had to have that.
So we're gonna max, the vacation would be capped at 200,
Correct.
Vacation.
Yes.
okay.
Okay.
And people, there's a couple of them that had, and we put it in the clause there that they got to be in compliance by 2024.
Right.
The ones that are over that right now, they got to be in compliance by 2024.
And that was just real quick, that was 5 weeks, and we talked about that as a group, and it's like, okay, 5 weeks,
Yep.
that's plenty. You know, we looked at it, and that's the max a person can earn in a year is 5 weeks paid vacation, and that's plenty to carry over. The problem with all these extra hours, it's kind of getting hard to manage, and we would rather see employees take the time off versus cash that money in
Right.
for their everybody's well-being, you know, so.
It could be like we talked about, well, last night?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a huge liability for
It is.
the village. You know, if a couple people that have gigantic sums of leave, if they were to leave at the same time, I mean, that could be a bill that the village isn't ready to be able to cover.
And to be clear, allowed to cash in 50% of those hours, meaning 50% of your total annual earnings. So if you accumulated 4 hours annually, you can't carry over, you can still carry over 2 weeks, but you have to cash in 2 weeks. Or are you talking about cashing in? I just want to be clear on the 50% because there was some discrepancy in the past. So that's why I'm trying to clarify. So 50% carryover what you accumulated in a year. So if you made 4 weeks in a year and you didn't take any off, you have to use 2 weeks or cash it in. It can only carry over 2 weeks, correct?
I think what it says in here is if you earn 5 weeks, you could take all 5 weeks, but you're eligible to cash out up to 50% of what you have earned
Yes.
for the year.
Yeah. I just clarify that because
Yes.
some had to do that and others had to cash in 50% of total, and that was way different. So I just wanted to, that's why I'm clarifying that because fair enough.
I think it's pretty.
And
pretty
we
well
still have a
spelled out in
chance,
here.
you know, this is just approval of the minutes. We still have a chance to
I'm with
kind of
you.
look at.
Sorry.
Right.
Yeah, so.
Right, so the handbook is available for all council members to look at, and we plan on hoping to review that and potentially in January have a set date for approving it, accepting it, and having it ready for the employees.
So if we have any discrepancies, we have time to work it out.
Right.
Did you want to have approval of your minutes
Yes,
then?
please.
Sorry.
Okay. My committee members approve of minutes.
Yeah, I'll move that we accept them as presented.
I will second.
That was moved by Mr. Whitaker and seconded by Mr. Bear. You gonna call?
And call roll for the three of us.
Ms. Sweet,
Yes,
Mr. Bear,
Yep.
Mr. Whitaker.
Yes.
thank you.
So the only thing I wasn't sure on, we had talked about yesterday, did we want to go ahead and put an ordinance together to adopt them and not do the, well, I guess it'd be a resolution, not an ordinance. Not do an emergency where it would give us 3 meetings to
To look it over.
look it over. I just know if we wait till the next one, I mean, I guess
we've
it's
only
not
got one
ready to
more
go,
in
but,
December.
right. It doesn't matter to me. We can wait until the next one and then that would start the,
Okay.
And you can always have a first reading and then adopt it at the next meeting as an emergency. You have a lot of flexibility there.
okay. Well, let's just talk about it and we can figure it out for the next meeting.
Okay.
At least everyone has a copy of it and we can all look through it
To
and
look through it.
make sure it makes sense.
Okay, thank you.
Any other committee reports? Thank you, Mrs. Sweet. Any other committee reports? We have no old business, no new business, no executive session. Comments from our public?
I'd like to comment that your Christmas trees look beautiful. Whoever did them did a good job.
Thank you. We'll pass that along. I agree. And with
to adjourn.
that,
What?
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Meeting adjourned.
7:33.